I would score this Ninth Assembly 9 over 10, simply because we have put in place historical and monumental bills, especially the PIA and the Electoral Act of 2020.
All right. I mean, just like Achebe said, when the Agama lizard falls from the high Iroko tree, looks left and right, he's going to nod his head in concurrent that, yes, I've done great. Let's get Chima, who is a public affairs analyst. Chima, what are your thoughts? The Ninth Assembly, have they done spectacularly well to score such an alpha, 9 over 10?
Well, we could have just added 1 and then made it 10 over 10, and then that would be a perfect score, right? In my view, and then possibly in the views of many Nigerians, the National Assembly, especially this session of the National Assembly, is not rated so highly. Comparatively, I think that the previous National Assembly performs, in many indices, performed better than this session of the National Assembly. You cannot discuss Nigeria's economy. You cannot discuss Nigeria's debt profile, for instance. You cannot discuss the insecurity in Nigeria, for instance, without pointing, yes, of course, you will point fingers at the executive arm of the government, whose responsibility it is to execute policies. But the National Assembly, by laws empowering them, have oversight functions, responsibilities over the executive. And then when you ask questions as to how they have been able to deploy all the powers that they are constitutionally assigned to them in trying to be on the side of the Nigerians, 1, on the economy, 2, on the parts of security. I think it was last year that we saw, I can't remember on which floors of the National Assembly, that we saw one of the lawmakers shedding tears about insecurity. And I did ask then, you know, when ordinary people are shedding tears, the National Assembly should not join us in shedding tears because there are powers that are constitutionally assigned to them to review our laws, to invite, by the way, it's not an anathema to invite the president to review his security protocol if we feel that he hasn't been doing quite well on that. And then, but you see people who have not used all the powers allocated to them. Today, there is this fear that Nigeria's debt profile is going to fall off the cliff. Look at what is happening to Ghana. Ghana, which is a stone throw from here, is having a debt default. And Nigeria could get to that cliff. And then when you look at all the borrowings, whether you're talking about ways and means, whether you're talking about multilateral debts, whether you're talking about local components of those debts, all of these debts must be sent, reviewed, and approved by National Assembly. So if you're talking about the executive arm of the government acquiring possibly bad debt for Nigeria, then you have to drop some blame at the heap of the people who were assigned to review and approve those requests. And for me, the National Assembly may score itself highly, but they've not scored highly in my view. So if you, on a rate of 3 to 10, I think I'll give them 3. 1 to 10, I'll give them a rate of 3.
Ooh. That's a far cry from the 9 over 10, which Shamsuddin had actually, you know, scored the Ninth Assembly. But